Take away. Hello. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Happy Mummy Monday.
Yes.
So we are just gonna, I'm so happy to be here.
I'm happy to be here too. Literally, this is our first time seeing each other.
I know, it's crazy. We'll get into that story in a little bit. I'm just gonna let some people kind of come on and join us, get comfortable.
Okay. I'm excited.
Yes, we're just gonna be
today.
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about Patricia, all things motherhood, everything that she does, all of her superpowers, and how she intentionally raises her son and her daughter.
Yes.
And they are so beautiful, by the way.
Oh my gosh. They are too much, as you all know. And me, she is 10, and Nemo is 6 years old. His name is Nehemiah, but his nickname is Nemo.
Yes.
And Emery.
Awesome. I'm really excited to get into the conversation. I think a lot of people watch you, are inspired by you, by the fitness and the wellness, and I just think it would be really great to learn another side of you, the motherhood side.
No, which I hardly ever talk about, besides if you're like family and friends. So I'm excited to just chat.
Yes.
It's not always easy at all. So
for sure.
I'm excited.
I think we have a few more people joining in, so I'm just gonna start.
Okay.
So hello everyone, welcome. I'm Lindsey Briggs. Welcome to Social U Digital Productions Mummy Monday. This is the second season, 4th episode.
That's awesome.
Yes. So started in the pandemic. I was working on a documentary, but everything shut down. And so I pivoted to virtual conversations, and I figured what better time to have it than during the pandemic, because everybody kind of needed to lean on each other. Mm-hmm. Parents needed to know what other parents are doing with their children for school. We got the health and medical, how we're doing the schooling and all that stuff. So it was a lot of great conversations, and it just has been kind of like a domino effect of all the great moms that I've had on. So I'm excited about this second season and your episode, the 4th episode.
I'm excited, and thank you so much for inviting me. Again, parenting, it's a tough job, but it's one of the most amazing jobs ever.
Yes, it is.
I have so much fun with it, and I'm happy to be here. But again, my name is Patricia McCallum. I am a personal trainer / group fitness trainer, and I'm a mommy of 2. And welcome to Mommy Mondays.
Yes. I'm so happy to be here. So I'm just gonna dig right into kind of how we met, and then you can kind of go after. So really, I have been watching some of your workout videos, and they're just so vibrant, not just, and because I have a media background, I was looking at how you have to, how you put together the videos and stuff, because not everybody does it on a certain level, and so I was like, oh wow, she's putting the music behind it, she got the slow-mos, you know what I'm saying, just creating all that multimedia to really get the story out there visually, and I really like that, and I'm attracted to that. So actually, before I ever heard from you, or before we ever spoke virtually on social media, I was watching and engaging with your stuff anyway. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. And I think one day, I don't know what month it was this year.
I think I reached out to you.
Yes.
So what happened? What happened was I had just did a video for my fitness apparel called Align Fits.
Align Fits.
And I wanted the next drop that I do, I wanted something where it's kind of like telling a story. So I saw your Instagram name kept popping up, and I'm like, geez, you're always hesitant, like, should I DM this person?
Right.
I don't know if I'm feel like a stalker. Right. All these things just go through your mind. So I'm like, you know what? Let me just reach out to her. And I'm like, listen, I don't know, but I think that God sent me this way to send you a message, because I see your work, and I'm like, what better way to have someone tell a story? Plus, you're a Black woman, and I just see all your work, and it looks amazing. So I reached out to her, and here we are.
Here we are. It's been, and honestly, I was so excited when you reached out. Like, I didn't know exactly what you wanted, but from what I saw, I was just like, oh my gosh, I would be able to do this. I would want to tell this part of her life. And so I was just really excited. And this is why I love social media, and this is why I have Social You Digital, because it's all about real connections, people connections, conversations, and really digging into the story, like, you know. So I'm so excited that you reached out.
I'm excited I reached out too. I'm telling you, even when we had our conversations on the phone, it's literally like what I have in my brain, you say it. I can't do that by myself. Like, I know what I want to put out there, but you literally you say everything like, oh, you know what, maybe I think that we should do something this way. I'm just like, yes. That's what I need. So
I'm so excited.
Happy I reached out to you too.
Yeah. And I'll ask you some questions about Align Fits, but I will also put a plug in there before we go deeper into that. Align Fits is Patricia's fitness line. It is amazing. I have one of the colors. I don't know if it's like taupe or like a beige.
Yes, kind of like it's the 20 one.
Yeah, the 20. It is so nice. It's so slimming. It holds you in as you work out. And you know, I do a lot of, you know, different workouts, Zumba, LB Dance Fitness, and so it's been perfect.
Thank you.
It's been perfect.
Make sure it had all the support
that
women need. So they are squat proof. So if you're doing your squats, you don't have to worry about your underwears.
Right.
But I have some cool things coming up.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does. All right. So let's you know, for people who don't know you, you know, there's a lot of people who do, but there's some people who don't. Can you just say like what you do by day, you know, the personal training, how long you've been training?
So again, I'm a personal trainer. I started training, let's see, my daughter is 10 now, so it's been 10 years now. And how I started was honestly through postpartum depression. I was just stressed out, you know what I mean? Stressed out, couldn't figure out what to do to just calm my mind and be in the present moment of being a first-time mom. So the only thing that would kind of just get my mind off of things was going out for a walk.
Right.
And that's it. I would go out for a walk, but actually, let's back up. I was put on bed rest at 4 months with my daughter.
Wow.
Until she was born. So that alone, that
4 months?
Yes, 4 months with her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Was there some type of medical or something?
Yeah, so naturally my cervix is thin.
Okay.
And you know, when your cervix is thin, that's when you're about to go into labor. So they put a cerclage on and then was like, you just gotta go on bed rest. So on top of that, losing my job and just wasn't in a good space at that moment with her father.
Yeah.
Ended up having her, and then just postpartum depression just came down. So I would go for walks every day until she was old enough. And then one day I was like, you know what? Since I like doing this so much and everyone's always asking me, what is it that I'm doing? I'm like, listen, I'm not a personal trainer. I just do what makes me feel good at the moment, and that's it. But since you guys are asking,
right,
how about I put together a boot camp? So I ended up putting together a boot camp and become certified as a trainer, and I just trained from there. I was working full-time in the school and then part-time as a trainer.
Okay.
Now I'm 100% just full-time trainer.
Are you happier as a full-time trainer?
Yes.
Okay. You want to talk about that process of having to work and still do your passion on the side, being a mom?
It was tough.
Yep.
And like, I love working with kids. Absolutely. And I love kids in general. But I don't think it's fair to them to be in their space or be in the educational field and you don't truly want to be there.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, it's just not fair to them. So I had to make a decision. You can stay and, you know, obviously have love for them and go through the motions, or you can try to do what you really want to do. And then, so I ended up moving to Georgia. This is my 3rd year here. Well, it hasn't been a year since I've been back, but I stayed here for 3 years.
It hasn't been a year?
No.
You've done so much.
It hasn't been a year since I've been back to Boston.
Come up.
Yeah, so I went to Georgia. I stayed there for 3 years, completely training, no other job. But then that became hard. It became hard. So now I have to worry about childcare.
Yeah.
Now I have to worry about food. Now I have to worry about shelter, all on just training. You know what I mean? Like, that's tough.
It is.
So a mom's gonna do what she have to do. I'm gonna get a part-time job and still train on the side. So I did training 2 years with no part-time job. Then my 3rd year, I'm like, listen, I got to catch up on these bills.
Right.
I'm gonna do training, and then I'll do the part-time job. But again, I hated it so much. I'm like, that's it. I'm coming back to Boston, not because of, me having to get another job, but it just made more sense for me to be here, and most of my clients were here too. So as well as my boyfriend.
Yes, and we will definitely get into that. So when you were in Atlanta in Georgia, it's Nehemiah and
Emory.
It's like Emory Law School. What was their father here?
So he was still in Boston, and it was just myself and the kids in Georgia. My dad lives there, but he's older.
Right.
My sisters are there, but at the same time, everyone has their own lives. So all of the pressure is going to be on me.
Right. So what was kind of your hopes? I know you were just kind of like tunnel vision focused, like, I'm getting into this training, I'm getting into this career just to be a self-sufficient mom for my kids. But like, what was your mindset around relationships and love when you came back? Or was that even a thing when you came back?
When I came back?
Yeah. Or when you were in Atlanta?
When I was in Atlanta,
yes.
I was not worried about a soul in the beginning, like, not at all. Because I needed time to focus. I needed time to heal from whatever I was going through. And I just needed time to start my life over again, pretty much. So, and that's what I did until I felt like it was time for me to just let somebody in. And it just happened to be my best friend. And thank God for that.
Nice.
Yeah.
You want to go right into that? We can go right into that. We can go right into Drew. Hi, best friend.
Yes. So he's been my best friend since high school. And we're just kind of like we're just friends.
Right.
That is it. We decided to give it a chance, and nothing where it's like, okay, we're best friends, but now we have to learn each other as being together.
Right.
So it wasn't something like, oh, because I've known you forever, like this is like a cheat code type of thing. Like we literally took our time to make sure it wasn't just lust.
Right.
You know what I mean? And this is what we wanted to do, and to make sure that, the kids are seeing a good example of, a healthy relationship too.
Right. And I'm pretty sure, like, before you guys made that decision, where you were at was like, I'm not thinking about a soul because I want my kids to see a healthy relationship, to see their mother loved correctly, and even see that reciprocated. Right. And so, especially like having a daughter and a son, it's like a twofold. It's like,
cause the ages, I'm sorry, too, and the age difference as well. Whereas my son, he's 6, so, well, at the time he was much smaller. He's 6 now, but I feel like when they're small, it's just like, they don't really understand. Whereas my daughter, she's a little bit older, so she can see that, well, daddy's not here anymore. There's a new guy involved. Is it just your friend? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? And she went through like a little tough time of wanting her dad and I to be back together. And we had to explain to her, like, sometimes things just don't work out. Right.
Yeah.
Daddy's gonna always be there. Mommy's gonna always be there. So you just kind of have to have those real conversations with them.
Yeah. How did that process of that real conversation go? Because I'm pretty sure there's a lot of, people that might be in the same situation.
I think that when I was in Georgia having this conversation with her, she was much smaller. I'm not sure if she processed it then. Now, I think she fully understands. And you kind of have to watch to see what their behavior is going to be like.
Yeah.
And now they're already dealing with their parents going different ways when they're used to them being together. So that they have to process that. So I feel like as a mom, I'm gonna allow my kids to have their time. You know what I mean? Have their time. I'm asking questions. If I notice that she's kind of like quiet, I can tell that something is off. You know what I mean? Or something is just wrong. So I always ask her, like, listen, it doesn't matter what it is, and we come to mommy no matter what it is. And of course she's gonna say no, nothing's wrong, but I can totally tell her when something's off. So I just allow them to have that time. I'm not gonna force, you know, anyone on them. Like once they are comfortable with mommy's new situation, then that's fine. I think also with Drew as well, like he didn't force anything in either. It was when they are ready, they'll, you know, you know, be into it.
And how did you know, too, like you said, a really important, significant thing is that, you know, your partner to be was like kind of like, I'm not going to force anything on them. And so I'm pretty sure, like, what kinds of things were you looking for, like confirmations, like, this person is for me because they gel well with my kids and my situation that's going on. Because sometimes it's just hard. It's not just you that they have to gel with. They have to gel with the whole package.
So my kids, especially Emery, I swear, you can kind of tell when your kids are like into someone or not. And it took her a while to warm up to him. Anyway, but it took her a while to warm up to him. But I had to pay attention to, for instance, when he did come to visit, like we wouldn't sleep together or anything like that. Like he would be in a separate room. I'm not gonna push them out of, now you can't sleep with mommy anymore when that's something that they used to. We gotta gradually get into it. So, and he was okay with that. You know what I mean? Like it wasn't an argument. Or if I can't, anything that I couldn't do by myself as far as like getting to the school on time or trying to figure out how I'm even going to pick them up or on whatever day, like he was on top of it. Like, we got to make sure you have a car. We have to make sure, you know, the kids are good. But we have to make sure that there's food in the house. Like, it doesn't matter whether he was there or not, like consistent. Even if, this is really big too. If we were to get into like a disagreement and he, took on a responsibility of making sure, you know, let's just say food was in the house. Like, it doesn't matter. You and I are not talking, but here's the money. You still need to go shopping.
Exactly.
And I think that is pretty big too.
Yes.
The consistency. So
being mature enough to like, you know, we had a disagreement, but like what's necessary, what still needs to happen every day is gonna happen. And that's a big thing. And I think those are good tips for women to look out for, you know, as you're dating. That consistency is key. Yes, consistency is definitely key.
They always cried when you would leave, so that was a big thing too. Like,
yes, I you know, I wanted to specifically really ask you about your relationship now and your kids, is because that's a lot of what I see on social media. Like, aside from you training, like you said, and I can tell like they're your everything. Like, I can tell, like, from the food, like the food that you make, I'm seeing like all the fruit snacks and the smoothies, and like I've gotten a few tips from those as well.
Good.
From my son as well. But I just can tell, like, that's your world. And so when you hit me up, I was just like, that's what we're gonna talk about, because that is your world. And so and then I even caught some of the like clips and media on Drew's page, and like I think it was Valentine's Day, or I don't know if it was Mother's Day or Valentine's Day, but he was teaching Nemo like, oh, we gotta like make reservations, we gotta get the card and flowers.
I think it was just a regular day.
Wow.
I think it was just a random day. Yeah.
How nice is that? How like dope is that? And that's another thing, like a good example of how to treat a woman. That's so awesome. So also what is most, you know, you're juggling fitness and, you know, running after the kids, which can be its own fitness and its own self, and just playing with them, racing with them, it could be its own fitness. How do you balance it all? Like, what is your process of balancing mommyhood?
I think now that I'm completely like just training full time. I have to figure out, and the kids are out of school now. So
Right.
now I still have to worry about content. I still have to worry about, emails. But I guess writing down a schedule, like at this time, whether it's going to be 30 minutes of reading, whether we're just going to go outside, like I'm honestly now trying to get a good schedule together.
Right.
So that I am making time for them and then work as well.
Mm-hmm.
On top of once work is over, I still got to have time for Drew when he gets home. So
then there's dinner and all that.
And then dinner and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just making a schedule. Obviously, it's not going to go as planned all the time, but if you get 2 or 3 things done out of that schedule, you're winning. Okay.
Yes.
You did whatever you could. It's not always going to be perfect. You just do what we can.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then weekends. I try to. I'm starting now that they're out of school to just plan little things for them to get involved with and just involve them in cooking or smaller recipes that they bring to my attention. Like, yeah, let's do it. Emily loves to bake too, so that's kind of like her thing. So just doing what works for you and trying to set a schedule, I think it's helpful.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing too, and it is a big transition now that the kids are out of school because Avery's been out for a week, and I'm just like, okay, my schedule is kind of flexible, but I'm just like, because I want to do so much with him now that he's out of school, I'm like, okay, camp is coming up. We got to do some camp, mid-July or something. But I was like, okay, play date here, swimming here, and I'm tired. You know what I mean? So schedule is
it's crazy.
It's
you have to just think of things to keep them busy. And my kids aren't even in camp. So now they've just been like going to their dads during the day, and then when they want to come back home, they will. But then I still have to worry about when they are back home, what are we going to be doing? Exactly.
I like to touch on, with all my Mummy Monday guests, mental health, because mental health, you touched on postpartum in the beginning, and just, our physical bodies, it's all connected with our emotions and our mental health. And then on top of that, if you don't really have the ideal situation, that could be extra added stress. But you found your niche in working out and everything. But I think everybody can work out in some way, even if they're not doing boot camp. Like you said, you were doing walks for therapeutic stuff. And I find working out to be a very therapeutic thing for myself too. What is your advice for being physical and mental health and how it helps?
I think that fitness, or just, being active, is definitely a stress reliever. But I also think it's important to know when to stop too. And I'm trying to learn, because I know Drew's watching right now. Like, you don't stop, you know what I mean? But I'm learning.
You sure don't. You be like, this routine sometimes 3 times a day. I'm like, okay, girl.
I'm learning. But when I say stop, I mean, like, if mentally you're not okay, fitness is not going to do anything for you.
That's true.
It's not going to do anything for you. You have to learn how to actually stop and get a grasp, or just understand, or think about what's going on deep down inside.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you can work out all day, all you want, but if you're not okay inside in your soul, it's not going to do anything for you at all. So take time to not be okay.
Yes.
And then, you can worry about physical exercise. And I've done that before, to the point where I would just say, I'm all right, I'm okay, I'll get past this thing. Like, mentally, I'm not okay. I wasn't okay.
Right.
But to the point where I got too sick, and now I'm in the hospital because I kept telling myself, I'm all right, and I got this, and blah, 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 blah. But I think that it's important for people to allow yourself to not be okay. Be still, whatever it is that you have to do, whether you're praying or going to the doctors or speaking to someone, allow yourself to not, just be still, and then get back to the physical part of actually working out. So I think that's really important too. It's not always about just, I'm going and I'm trying to get in shape and I want a flat stomach and blah, 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 blah. You're not going to get there if mentally you're just not okay or not ready.
That's really, I'm glad you kind of flipped that a little bit, because that's real. That's really real. I've even had times where feel what you feel. It's okay
Yeah,
to
it's okay.
feel what you feel, because sometimes if you don't and you try to like skip over it, you're
You're
never
gonna
going to
crash.
get better. You're never going to. But there's been times where I'm just like, okay, I'm not going to work out for the week. Like I was a bit.
But that's okay. That's okay. And I think a lot of people don't think that that's okay, but it's okay to not be okay. Like give yourself a break. And then when you get back to it. You can always continue, you know what I mean? So
right.
Don't be afraid to stop and be still, you guys. Like it is a-okay.
Stop and be still before you try to do any. You need to be therapeutic first of all, and feel what you're feeling first, and be in tune with yourself and your feelings. And
your body will change. I feel like for me, when I was in Georgia, and I kept telling myself that I was okay, and I really wasn't. I was working out constantly, but my body is not changing. My body's not changing. I'm sweating to death. I mean, a little bit. Sometimes when I felt like it was okay, but I wanted to be a little bit more toned. You know, I want to focus on my arms, but I wasn't okay deep down inside, so it wasn't going to change anything. Until now, I'm okay. Mentally, I'm okay. Now I see a difference.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? But you have to allow yourself to just be still and not be okay.
Right. And I'll even say that for, people who have, because we all deal with it. Yeah. Especially women, like that body image thing, especially after having a kid. It's just like, the little, what do you got? The little fufa, the little plot right there. Yeah. That's, but I remember, being at a fitter weight, but also not being happy. Like being very sad, being very angry inside, not really knowing what's going on from day to day. But I was fit, you know, but I feel much more healthier now because, I know that I can get fit like that because my mind and my heart is right. It's better.
That's the most important.
For
so
sure.
That's why I'm never the type of trainer to be like, come and shred with me or do anything. Like you literally have to be mentally ready.
Yes.
You have to be.
Yes. So that's the difference that you guys can get with fitness.
It's not a huge difference. I'm not that pushy type of trainer that's all about how you look. Like I think your mental health is really important. So,
yes, for sure. Can you talk about, I put you in the category of like a community leader and collaborator because you are leading the way in health and wellness. You know what I'm saying? Group fitness trainer. So you're transforming people's lives, Can you talk just about, maybe a story that you have
of like a client?
Of a client, that, that has been most rewarding for you where they started in a certain mindset, and now I've seen them consistently.
Yeah. The first person that comes to mind since being back, I guess I would say, and I've known most of my clients for like years too, but one of them really stands out. Her name is Amy. Shout out to Amy if you're watching. And all of them do an amazing job. Some of them are there just, it's not all about the way they look again. Right. Emphasize on that. Right. Everyone is there for their own reasons, and own goals. But Amy, I remember when she started last fall, or when I first came back here, and literally couldn't even do a jump squat or getting through the ladders. But if you see her now, like completely different, like she's grown like in confidence. Yeah. She wasn't wearing a dress before. Now she's in dresses. Now she wears shorts, and I can't remember her exact measurements or numbers, but she's lost a lot of weight, and she's proud of herself, and she should be, and I'm proud of her too. So, shout out to Amy.
Shout out to Amy, and I know Amy. I think we went to high school together.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Her brother,
Weston High School. No, we went. I think she was like a couple years under me. We're talking about the same Amy, and I think that we are because I've seen your stuff. But shout out to you, Amy. And you look good. You look awesome.
Yes.
So, with being a mom, being fit, what kinds of activities do you do with Nemo and Emery?
So Nemo likes to work out with me more than Emery. Sometimes he'll do a few jump jacks or squats with me. Emery, when she was younger, honestly, she used to want to work out with me all the time, but now she doesn't. Now I notice that she eats everything I eat. Everything I eat. Mind you, I buy things so that they won't want my stuff.
Right.
She eats everything I eat now. So they go outdoors, they ride their scooters, I rollerblade with them sometimes. Emery just learned how to ride a bike. And just, I allow them to just be a kid. Like, be active, go outdoors when you want. They do play their video games for a little bit, but go outside, ride your scooters, your bikes, and just be a kid. If you want to work out with me, fine, but it never really lasts that long. It never really lasts. Until I ride my rollerblades, they do like things like that.
Yeah. So now I want to kind of switch over into your brand. I mean, you are a walking brand anyway. P Fitness as a personal trainer, a mom, but how your mommyhood, how your personal training, and just your mindset all kind of folds into your line, which is Align Fits.
Yes.
And even with the name, you know that everything kind of has to align with the lifestyle, the fitness lifestyle, the healthy lifestyle, healthy emotionally, all that. But if you could just kind of take us through, why'd you even start Align Fits?
It all came to me, that name literally came to me in a dream as well, too.
Okay.
Came to me in a dream. I always wanted like my own, first of all, I always wanted to be a runway model.
Oh,
I always wanted to be a runway model.
And she is.
She is. I
even
tried out for America's Next Top Model a few times and never got picked, but it's okay. So I always wanted to be a model, and I'm like, okay. I also love fitness. I can model my own attire, but not just about modeling it. What does it stand for? Like I want when someone wears Align Fits to feel comfortable, to feel sexy. You may be a sporty type of woman. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Also, the name speaks for itself. No matter what you do in life, you'll be aligned. You may have some ups, you may have some downs, but you'll always be where you need to be. But as long as you keep going, you know what I mean? As long as you keep going, never stop.
Right.
Because once you stop, you give up on yourself. Continue to go, and no matter what, you'll always be where you need to be because you'll be aligned. So that's a little drop about my brand.
Yeah.
And I made sure that the quality was like A1, okay?
It is.
Literally will suck you in. Sometimes I wear the tops. It's not even bra. Like I would just wear my top.
I've done it a couple of times. I've worn it
because it's so comfortable and it literally holds everything in. You don't have to worry about the little fat coming out
right back here.
Yeah. So that's a little bit about my brand, and I do have a few. I've learned to not say what I'm going or what's coming out because then they'll be like, well, when is it coming out?
I know.
Like, it really
just
does
drops
take time.
It does. I know.
Sometimes the samples that I'm wearing is just a sample, and then I have to go back and let them know what I don't like and what I do like, and then that's when the full production comes out. But that's pretty much it.
That's the gist of it, and people will be hearing and seeing more anyway as the summer and fall goes on because we'll be working together on it. Yes, so it'll be bomb for sure. Kind of to go back to the mommyhood, fitness, and relationship. So it's kind of like
it ties all
it all ties in, and it all aligns in your life. But kind of to go back to like that supportive partner, and I think Drew does some entrepreneurship stuff too, and you are too. So just like, how is that?
So he's a soccer coach, and he also works full time at Tobin Community Center.
Nice.
But just think about it. Had I not ever moved to Boston, because I'm originally from New York. Yeah, from New York. But what are the odds that I'm with like my best friends, or what are the odds that I would move to Boston, have my kids? In my mind, I was gonna be with my kid's father forever.
Yeah.
Not in a million years that I think that I would be, where I am now, and it feels amazing.
Yes.
Let me just say that.
Yes.
It's amazing. But everything ties together. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You go through whatever you went through to get to where you are now, and I try my best to allow yourself to feel like this good moment, because not that relationships doesn't last forever, but there's going to be always a bump in the road. You know what I mean? So feel how you feel in the moment, and then you just keep going. But everything, it ties in. Drew being a soccer coach, me being into the fitness thing, we kind of bring the kids together. We both love kids, and he started his training. He trains on every Saturday, but I believe the last session was last Saturday, so he has another one coming out soon. I'm not sure of the dates, but we literally just, it's like, I don't know, we do everything together.
Right.
We do everything together, and everything is always for the kids too. So
right. Yeah. I love it. As an onlooker of the love, it's just amazing to see. And I know that it's inspiring to me, and also like hopeful, and I know that it is for other, moms and parents, really, and so what would be some of like your advice, like as you're in, I guess, the waiting period, or just like about your kids, or maybe you've met someone, like what was your process? Where was your mind at? Were you open? You had to let go? All those like different things that lead up to being in a healthy relationship.
So I think it's natural for a mom to think like, is anybody gonna want me?
Yeah.
With a kid, or 2 kids, or 3 kids. Like,
right.
I thought about that.
Yeah.
Like, who's gonna want to take on more responsibility, especially if they don't have any of their own. Those are the things that just run through your mind naturally. Again, I think that it's important to allow yourself to just be like by yourself. You know what I mean? Like, if there's any type of thing that you dealt with in your past,
right,
or seeing in your past, whether it's like your mom or your father's relationship,
right,
think about how you want your kids to grow up.
Exactly.
You remember I remember how I felt as a child seeing my parents fight all the time. Like, if someone got into my face, I'm ready to fight. I don't care. I see it's just black, I'm ready to fight.
Yeah.
Get out of my personal space. So I didn't want that for them. You know what I mean? So I have to think about that when I'm looking for a partner as well. Do you have the same beliefs in me? What is your relationship like with your parents? You know what I mean? Because that's important too.
Yeah.
Is your mom and your dad involved? Or even if they're not together in the same household, what is that dynamic like anyway? Do you still have a good relationship with your mom? Do you have a good relationship with your father? I think that that's important as well. Yeah. So I always think about how I felt as a kid. I don't want my kids to have to feel the same thing growing up.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. So
it's an emotional thing. I'm getting emotional even just listening to you, but these are the things that I don't think we talk about enough, because it doesn't stop at, you had a kid 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're not with the parent, or the child's mother, child's father. And that doesn't mean that it's over for you relationally,
No, I think you just have to know like what you want and the examples that you want to set for them, and set them, and don't set the boundaries. And there was something else I want to say that was important for kids, just letting them. You never want them to experience what you experienced growing up, and that was just my main thing. And I will cut anybody off that will try to jeopardize that for my kids. I don't care who you are at all. For sure. So that was really, that's big for me, and it still is now. So I'm always, and again, you can't shield them from everything. You can't, but for the most part, if it's in my control, I'm going to do what I have to do to make sure that they're not growing up as these trauma adults. You know what I mean? And now it's going to start all over again when they have their children. Like, so I think it's important to set that example at home, and I don't want them to ever feel what I had to feel growing up.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, well, that's what we're here to do, to make things better for our children. You know, it won't always be perfect because, like you said, they're gonna still, you know, be exposed to what. But if it's in our control, we're gonna do the best that we can to shield them from that. I love it. I love that story. It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful. So shout out to you. Shout out to Nemo. Shout out to Emery, and shout out to Drew. And now that, you know, Nemo and Emery's dad, I mean, still a part of the picture, like not, you guys aren't in a relationship, but he's their dad, you know, will always be their dad. How is that, you know, dynamic, and what would be kind of like the tips and advice for that dynamic?
To be honest, we are still trying to figure things out. Yeah. We are honestly still trying to figure things out.
It's a journey.
I know how I want to raise my kids. I would want the same thing, you know, for my kids in their household, but at the same time, it's their household. You know what I mean? Like, I can only express how I would want things, and hopefully that, you know,
it would be heard.
It will be heard, and not as I'm telling you what to do.
Right.
Like, it always needs to be best for the kids. So as far as the dynamic, we are still trying to work things out.
Working the kinks out.
Yeah, working it out. And you know, I'm sure it's going to take time, but we just got to get out our feelings and do what's best for the kids at all times. Yeah. Until that happens,
try to
do it the best that I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
But they have a relationship with their dad.
Of course. Yeah. Of course. Well, it has been awesome. An awesome time. I know Patricia, P Fitness, she has to run to boot camp because she has it. Do you want to just let the people know when you have it?
Yes. So I run a boot camp at Roberts Playground every Monday, Wednesday, Thursday from 6 to 7 p.m. and Saturdays 10 to 11 a.m. You can also find me on Instagram at pfitness_. Something like that.
Yeah.
And then on
underscore fitness.
P_fitness_. Yeah.
She'll come up.
That's it. And then Facebook at P Fitness McCallum. And you can also sign up to become a member at alignfits.com. You just have to make an account, and then you'll be able to see the different packages from there. Or you can do a drop-in whenever you feel. Yes.
Well, it has been amazing sitting and talking with you. I thank everybody for their engagement. I wasn't even on the comments, so they could have been saying something. Wow. Okay, well, let's just look at the comments really quick. If they did have comments. Yep, I see 2 here. So there's Justin, live from the vault, and Rosa Burns.
I told you my mom's.
Hi, Mama. She might have been the first one on. You should be so proud, though. You should be so proud. But it's been a pleasure having you. I'm honored to have you on the couch. Honored to meet you in person today.
I know. Again, give me a hug. Literally.
So honored to meet you in person. You know, everything has been virtual, so like I'm like, we met already. And she's like, no, we haven't. I'm like, oh shoot. So it's been awesome, and I am really excited for the journey, the future of your brand, and you know, your kids. They're amazing. You can feel their amazingness through the screen and social media. So and I can't wait for my son to meet your son, because they're the same age.
And Nemo, he does not have any little friends at all. I think he has like one where we live at now, but awesome.
So like let's do the play dates, and I'm ready. I'm ready.
Me too. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm excited. Thank you. Thank you guys for watching too.
Yes. So my name is Lindsey Briggs, host of Mommy Mondays. P Fitness McCallum has been my guest for today, and thank you so much for tuning in.
My mom said hello. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Mom. Hello. Thanks for the hearts and the likes. And so we are gonna get out of here now.
Yes. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, y'all.